Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Nissan. Hop into a Nissan Rogue and hit the road to adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. By the New York Lottery, this could be your lucky play. By Optimum Fiber, famously fast fiber internet. And by Hyundai, test drive a new Hyundai today only at your local Hyundai dealer. Rosario's ready. Toley's ready. Let's do it here at Fenway. First pitch up and away, and we're underway. Yankees won 4-1 yesterday, and Rosario drove in all of the runs. Here's the Yankee lineup: Rosario, Judge, and Rice. Middle of the order: Stanton, Grichuk, and Grisham. And then the bottom third: Chisholm, Caballero, and Wells. – 3-0 on Rosario. Home plate umpire is John Lipka. Clint Bondrak at first, Austin Jones at second, and the crew chief Todd Titzner is over at third. And the count is full at 3-2.
He gets a lot of carry on his fastball because of his arm position, and we take a look at his numbers. Kind of a mixed bag when he got called up last year. 7 starts, a pretty high ERA. Gave up a lot of home runs, 5 home runs in only 16 and a third innings.
And the 3-2. And he struck him out. Came back from 3-0 to strike him out.
Well, let's check out the Nissan pitcher's scouting report on him. He's number 15th prospect in minor league baseball, according to the MLB. And a lot of people think he's the number 1 left-handed prospect. Quick ascent. He went from A-ball to the big leagues last year, and that was his first year of pitching. He ended up pitching in the playoffs. See a lot of heat. 95 to 101, Michael. 65% fastballs.
And that was 98, a strike to Judge.
He doesn't have it tonight, Michael. 98.
Oh, and 2. Judge 2 for 5 in the first 2 games of this series. 91st inning home runs, 5 of them this year. Foul back.
Michael, I talked about how he went from A-ball to the big leagues in his first year pitching and only had 91 innings in the minor leagues. So there is somewhat of an innings limitation, but he's had 1 start since April 6th. April 12th. That's it.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the curve. 2 strikeouts, 2 outs. Take a look at the Red Sox defense. Brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Duran, Rafaela, and Abreu in the outfield. You see the infield. Narvaez behind the plate. And the Car Shield defensive player profile goes to Rafaela, who is one of the best in the game out in center field. 21 outs above average since last season. And he made a great catch on Stanton in game 1. Second among major league outfielders. Only Pete Crow Armstrong better with 30 defensive runs saved.
For a guy that made a start April 5th, April 12th, and they held him back because they thought with that rain on Sunday that you experienced in New York that there might be a doubleheader on Monday, so they held him back. He hasn't pitched much, but he seems pretty locked in.
.23 years old. And he rocks and deals. And Rice goes down on strikes. What a first inning for Peyton Toley as he strikes out the Yankees. Red Sox coming back. Cam Schlittler warming up, and this is the Red Sox starting lineup that he's going to face. Duran, Rafaela, and Yoshida at the top of the order. Duran had 3 hits last night. He had been in a 1 for 17 slump. Contreras, Abreu, and Story in the middle. Meyer, Durbin, and Narvaez round out the 9-man starting lineup.
Great numbers for Cam. You look at the strikeouts to walks, excellent. The opponent average. the Nissan's pitcher scouting report on Cam is got to keep your emotions in check. And I know he's pitched in some good games, but there's something about coming back home that gets you a little bit fired up. Back around, he started this streak of 5 games where the starters have a .52 ERA. Keep it going, Cam. And ditto. We said you were going to see a lot of heat from the left-hander on the other side. Well, you're going to see a lot of heat here between the 3 fastballs. He throws them about 90% of the time.
Take a look at the defense, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Gritchick, Grisham, and Judge in the outfield. Rosario, Caballero, Chisholm, and Rice. Behind the plate, Austin Wells, Stanton, the DH. And the pitch to Duran is up and away.
You get 3 hits, you move to the top of the order. That's how it works.
Well, this Red Sox offense is struggling so much. They're trying to find the right combination. Ground ball second base. Nice hop there for Chisholm. 1 away. We told you John Lepke is behind the plate. The umpire scouting report brought to you by your local Kia dealers. John is considered hitter-friendly in his 10th big league season. He's had 12 calls challenged, 5 overturned. He calls fewer low strikes and fewer outside strikes.
Well, it shouldn't affect these 2 guys too much because they both work up in the zone a lot.
Here's Rafaela. You know, we told you about how Cam is almost exclusively fastball, and it's different variations of fastball. The Red Sox don't hit anything 95 or more miles per hour. They're hitting 226 as a team against that type of fastball.
Yeah, which is 22nd in all of baseball. And the one start that Cam had a little bit trouble was Tampa to me, because they hit the fastball well. So I think that's why he will do what he did last year, where he just throws a ton of them until they hit it. You got to prove it.
And a strike. Well, the impressive stat with Cam, and Joe showed it when he gave the numbers, 36 strikeouts and 3 walks. Hard throwing youngster, and he doesn't walk people.
And they always talk about taller pitchers have a hard time getting their mechanics in sync. It's just tougher on them, but it has not been a problem for him. You know, maybe when he was throwing 90 and 8-ball, he was more of a command guy, and it just, he never really got out of what he did. He just added velocity as he got stronger and learned how to manipulate the baseball.
2-2. Caballero at short. And Rafaela flying down the line, but he is out. Now let's take a look at the 3 different fastballs for Schlittler on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud.
Yeah, you have about the last 20 feet to decide where your barrel needs to go, because one's going to be straight, one's going to come into you, and one's going to go away from you. And you got to make an educated guess which one it is, because they're all basically 94 and above, and that's a quick reaction time.
So here is Yoshida. Pitch upstairs. Coming into this game, Yankee pitching this series, 18 innings pitched, 1 run, 9 hits, and 13 strikeouts. They have not allowed back-to-back hits. And 3 of the 18 batters leading off the inning have reached 1 for 16, a walk, and a hit by pitch. With runners on base, the Red Sox are 2 for 24, and with runners in scoring position, 1 for 15. They have really labored offensively.
And not getting that leadoff man, it makes it really tough to score runs. And they don't really have a lot of on-base guys this year so far.
And for the 2nd straight game, one of their best players, Roman Anthony, is out with a sore back. Two and one on Yoshida. Now 2-2. This year, the Red Sox have had 11 games where they scored 2 runs or fewer, and they are 1-10 in those games. Only the KC Royals with 13 such games, and the Mets with 12 have more. The 2-2. And right there is Chisholm. Another good hop, and that'll do it. 3 ground balls for Cam Slitler as the Red Sox go down in order, and we'll go to the second. Play FanDuel's Daily Dingle for free every day for a chance at a profit boost if your selected player hits a home run. And here are the featured home run odds for today's players. Stanton, plus 420. Grisham, plus 650. And Stanton leads off. Giancarlo with a 7-game hit streak at Fenway Park, hitting .370 during that time, 1.006 OPS. Peyton Tolley struck out the first 3 Yankees in the first inning.
Yeah, he's had a great series too after struggling coming in. I think he was 1 for his previous 21. He's 4 for 8, a homer, 3 RBIs, 3 doubles. He's been trying to knock over the left field wall with the doubles.
Tolley is bringing it. And 4 strikeouts in a row for the 23-year-old lefty.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of fastballs because he's got a really good one that has that carry to it because of his arm angle. 33 degrees. It's almost kind of like 3/4, and it has that ride because of how he releases it. And so far the Yankees haven't picked it up. You got the shadows a little bit out in the outfield. I always thought left-handers were harder to see here when it was daylight because of the fans, and you see the motion here. See how his arm is not over the top. Like Cam's is much more over the top than his, but it works for him.
Every pitch he delivers, he's grunting. Sounds like somebody serving in tennis. So max effort. Foul back. 1-2 on Grisham.
Yeah, the most pitches he's thrown this year has been 75. So you can almost see how they're trying to keep his innings down because he hasn't thrown 150 innings ever in the minor leagues.
Second round pick in 2024, 15th prospect in the majors. And last year you see the numbers from Yukon, Oklahoma. 5 strikeouts in a row. He's making himself seen here on the mound at Fenway.
So Michael, last year there was a young man. You're going to see the carry on this fastball. All these guys are underneath it. They're going to have to tell themselves we need to hit the top of the baseball. The only person that has seen him is Trent Grisham, 1 at bat last year in the playoffs. So this is all new for the Yankee hitters. You expect them to make the adjustment the second time through. But there was a guy in Cincinnati that struck out like the first 7 hitters against the Yankees last year, Chase Burns, and then they got to him the second time through. So curious if that's going to happen.
Dialed that one up to 99, the count 0-2. And the Yankees finally put it in play. A ground ball to Contreras. Steps on the bag. Yankees go down in order. Time for a segment that we like to call, well, Brad, what do we like to call it?
How about that?
It's about Cam Slitler. Favorite athlete growing up was Tom Brady. Favorite non-Major League Baseball team, the Boston Bruins. How about this? He was named after Boston Bruins legend Cam Neely, and previously pitched at Fenway at a prospect showcase in 2020.
Yeah, that was the Boston prospect team against the Yankee prospect team.
Yep.
Now we switch unis on them.
Hometown, Walpole, Massachusetts.
How about that?
You're right, Mel. Now, we had heard from Cam that he was receiving a lot of threats of varying kinds on social media. And he said it's probably going to be a bad scene out there warming up the bullpen. And we certainly kept a close eye, and it didn't seem like there were problems at all. The Red Sox had security there. The Yankees certainly had security as well. But we certainly compared it to when Roger Clemens came back as a Yankee, and Clemens received much more vitriol out there. But we have not read Cam Schlittler's social media posts that were sent to him, and supposedly they're quite ugly, and people get crazy on social media. That one's driven deep to left field, and that ball is foul. Kept hooking.
Yeah, and they've also sent it to his family, which is
ridiculous.
Yes.
So there's Clemens warming up on the left, and there's Cam. You're very close to the fans anyway, but you see, close eye, the Yankee coaches are right there. One of the Yankee security is right there, and there didn't seem to be any incidents at all. Swing and a miss. Contreras down on strikes.
You know, that's what he's done very well too with his cutter. You know, he throws his four-seamer up so much. His cutter has been about 6 inches to 9 inches higher this year than it was last year, and it looks just like the four-seamer, and then it makes a left turn. If you're the pitcher, it makes a left turn to the hitter. So they think it's the four-seamer, and gotcha.
Here's Abreu. And a strike, 98 miles an hour.
Oh boy. I think it got the chest protector first, and then I don't know if it came up and underneath his mask. Right on the chin, Michael. That's the ones that you feel the most. I can tell you that from experience. You can hear the umpire talking to him. It's a good one. Yeah. Not so good.
In all the times you're catching, do you ever think you got concussed?
No.
You don't?
I don't. Now, my wife might disagree with you, with me. I think I got one in football. I remember that.
You quarterbacked, right?
Yes. It was returning a punt. I got lit up.
So that's called the ball. Is anybody challenging that?
Yes.
Just called the ball. Catcher's challenging.
All right, so powered by T-Mobile. Let's see him if he's right. No, that's way off. It was a ball. Quite a bit off the top of the zone.
Might have been a case where Willie Abreu listed himself at 6'1". He's really 5'10".
1-2. If he had not challenged the previous pitch, I think that Wells would have challenged.
You're
him.
absolutely right.
I got to ask you this. I think they're still feeling this rule out. I mean, the second inning, 0-2 pitch, you're going to challenge it?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not sure. I think they're so sure that it's a strike.
Right.
That's why they do it. But I tell you what, it's a lot more on the plate of a catcher. Like, I don't think I would have liked this. But I like it for the game because it gets the call right. But I'm not so sure I would have been comfortable. It would have taken me a while to get comfortable with it.
And there just has to be a time and a place. So if it was a walk that became a walk or it spun a count, it made it from 0-2 to 1-2. It would have either been a strikeout or 1-2. I don't know if it's worth the challenge.
But it's that conviction, Michael, that you think, "Now that was a strike. What?" And he's been pretty good this year. You look at his numbers.
3-2. Abreu 1 for 8 in the series so far. Last 10 games hitting 132. First 13 games he was hitting 392, 20 for 52. And so he goes from 0-2 to a walk. First base runner of the game for either team.
You haven't said that much this year, Michael. Walk. It's only number 4 on the season.
So here's Trevor Story, runner at first, held there by Rice. '97 foul back. Runner goes to throw to second. Got him. Abreu gunned down. The tag applied by Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah, Alex Cora trying to push the envelope. They've had a hard time scoring runs. They don't walk a lot. They don't hit home runs, so it makes it tough to score runs. They send Abreu, and he is out. He peeks in, but nice tag by Jazz and a really nice throw by Austin Wells. His 3rd caught stealer this year. It's a good pitch, gets on top of it. When he gets in trouble, Michael, his arm dips down and the ball takes off up and to the right towards the right fielder.
Rosario. The throw goes past Rice. He tried to keep his foot on the bag for the stretch, but it got by him. So that should be an E5 on Ahmed Rosario.
He did everything right. It just kind of took off on him. Ben Rice tried to, and he couldn't really move his left foot, because if he does, he's going to get caught up with the runner. I'm going to blame myself on this, because in the pregame I talked about he'd been playing really good defense too. That's my fault.
There's Meyer. 1-0.
Probably one of their better fastball hitters, Michael. There's a number of guys on this team that actually hit breaking balls and off speed better than fastballs. Not the case with Meyer.
So Rosario charged with the error. You know, watching that play develop, I think his timing might have got thrown off because the ball kind of rolled up his wrist.
A little bit. And it's amazing when you, Michael, that's great point. When you get it just a little bit out of whack, how it changes where your arm is when you release it compared to your feet. Sometimes your hips open up too quick and the ball will take off and it will sail to the right if you're right-handed.
Sky down the deep left center field, up near the wall and off the wall. Playing it out there is Grisham. He'll get the ball in. Steaming around third and scoring is Story. It's an RBI double for Meyer, and the Red Sox lead 1-0.
Well, I talked about it in the first game. When you look at Meyer as a hitter, he has a really good approach because he tries to hit the fastball to left center, and he's a pretty good fastball hitter, and he'll hold the off speed. He gets this four-seamer out over the plate, drives it to left center, and there's nothing the Yankees can do about this run scoring. Trevor Story doesn't have to worry about it being caught with 2 outs. He gets a good jump. He runs really well, and it's a pretty easy score for Trevor Story.
Here's Caleb Durbin. Ground ball, Caballero. And they get Durbin for the final out. So an unearned run, but the Red Sox, it counts on the board. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. Well, let's all play ball. Don't miss Play Ball Weekend coming up on June 5th through the 7th, encouraging youth everywhere to get out and play. You can visit playball.org to register for a free event near you today.
Your son played ball last night.
Yes,
1 for 2 with a walk.
Team won.
Caught some.
Yep. Had a good day.
Nice line drive to center field we saw.
We followed on Game Changer. Here's Jazz Chisholm Jr. And a strike.
Jazz is asking, where was it? Inside corner. It had more than the corner.
There are 3 players in the major leagues that had 20 or more home runs last year that are stuck at 0. One of them is Bobby Witt, 110 plate appearances. He had 23 last year. And Jazz is down looking. 6 strikeout. Fernando Tatis had 25 home runs. He's 103 plate appearances, no home runs. And then Jazz now 92 plate appearances without a home run.
Yeah, I just don't think the Yankees are picking up the ball on Tolley. First time they've seen him. Again, Grisham was the only one that had an at bat. He grounded out to second in the playoffs. He grounded out. He's the only guy that's put the ball in play.
Yep. Now this is a different start time. Started at 6:10. In afternoon games, they do not sell the seats out in center field and the bleachers, but because it's considered a night game, they do, and there's still some sunlight out there, so it could be impacting with the left-hander coming out of those shirts.
Yeah, and when they're white shirts, it's even worse. And infielders will talk about that sometimes in the stands in day games. They pick up the white shirts of the people in the stands, and it's hard to see ground balls sometimes. There's a couple white ones. I think they sat there on purpose, Michael.
You think they were plants?
Oh, yeah.
The 0-2. Ground ball third base. Durbin. And the throw is high. But they tag Caballero on the way by.
Yeah, Durbin's usually pretty sure-handed. Usually makes accurate throws. Ooh, that's really close, Michael.
Really close.
Obviously, the Yankees aren't challenging it.
There's Austin Wells.
Michael, I'll give you a little fact about Tolley. His sophomore year at Wichita State, he hit .311 with 13 homers and 50 RBIs. See, Durbin gets his arm a little low, and the ball kind of takes off. Really good move by Contreras. He's very athletic, as we have talked about. I wonder if there was any thought to making him a two-way player.
Little Ohtani?
Why not? You get an extra pitcher on the staff.
Craig Counsell doesn't like that.
No.
Just missed the outside corner. Tolley is just filling up the strike zone with fastballs.
He's filling up the strike zone. He's throwing a lot of strikes.
Well, he's well rested, as Joe said. Sometimes that results in bad command, but not today.
No, he must have did a lot of work on the side. I mean, he threw April 5th, April 12th. He didn't like that cutter he threw. It kind of backed up on him. Sometimes his top half gets a little quick and his arm lags behind, and that's when it, ends up inside to a left-handed hitter.
Popped up on the left side. Durbin backs up, and he is called off by Duran. They both go down to the turf, but Duran holds on to make the play. Yankees have yet to reach base against Tolley in 3 innings.
Welcome back. Several Yankees players, along with Aaron Boone, visited Boston's Children's Hospital this week to surprise little Walker, the Heart Warrior. Walker is just 7 years old. He's in the hospital dealing with some issues, going to have some procedures, and he reached out to the Yankees to let them know that he would be in town, and he got a surprise of a lifetime, guys. Ben Rice visited him on Monday. You see Aaron Boone there. He went today. He got FaceTimes from Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole and Will Warren, and tonight's pitcher Cam Schlittler also stopped by. Ben Rice Rice said that it really put it all in perspective. He has such a positive attitude considering everything that he is dealing with. Young Walker gave Ben Rice a bag of wristbands. Ben Rice is actually wearing it right now. Rice said it was important for him to wear that wristband, knowing that Walker is going to be watching the game. He wants him to know that everybody is thinking about him. When Cam Schlittler and Will Warren walked in, he already had the wristband on. And guys, he's brave for a lot of reasons, but when Rice showed up for the first time, he was wearing full pinstripes, not afraid to show his allegiance here in Boston when he's at the Children's Hospital. We wish Walker well.
Absolutely, from everybody here, yes, for sure, and it certainly does put things into perspective, and I hope that players realize the impact they could have making visits like that.
Huge impact, Michael. And I think the Yankees overall do a fantastic job. You think about Hope Week and all the things that they do in the community, the Thanksgiving drive, the Christmas drive, but the players can have such an impact because it just takes away from what that young man Walker's going through for a few minutes when there are stars there like Ben Rice and Cam Schlittler. It's just fantastic.
Foul ball by Narvaez. The tip goes into the glove of Wells, so a strikeout of Narvaez. One away here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, really good cut fastball there. You can see the depth on it and how it slides away from the right-handed hitters. I don't think he's sharp yet, Michael. I don't think he's had great command of his four-seamer yet. Similar to what Max Fried did yesterday, but Max Fried really found it about the fourth inning and just dealt.
Back to the top of the order, and Jarren Duran fouls it off. Ground ball and through for a base hit. So Grichuk will get the ball in. And it's a one-out single by Jarren Duran.
Yeah, he's starting to hit the ball to left field, which is a great sign for the Boston Red Sox. And this is the first curveball of the night. He hits it off the end, but he hits it through the hole, and now you have to worry about him stealing. You know what he's done in the last week or so, Michael? He's raised his hands a lot. His hands used to be lower, and he was probably trying to hit the ball in the air more, but he's raised his hands. Maybe it's starting to click for him.
What does that do if you raise your hands?
Sometimes it helps you get on top of the ball.
Okay.
There's less movement to get to your slot. Sometimes when your hands are really low, you got to bring them up anyway, and you might be late getting to the slot because you have so far to move. 3 hits last night, a hit tonight. Outstanding speed.
And a strike.
The interesting thing is he had the great year in 24, and he led off 153 games. Last year he only led off 108, which is still a lot. This year he hasn't been there because of Roman Anthony.
Popped up. Jazz Chisholm toward the line, makes the play.
When Roman comes back, it'll be interesting to see if they leave him in that spot. As you think about it, we've seen a different leadoff hitter in 3 straight games. Just their lineup keeps changing and changing because they're searching for runs.
The thing that's scaring a lot of Red Sox fans, and I was talking to Red Sox people after the game yesterday, said, this is the team. It's not like somebody important is hurt, where somebody's going to come walking through that door and change the vibe. This is the team that was playing. Now, Roman Anthony's missed the last 2 games with a sore back, but he was playing before that, and they just weren't hitting. You know, when the Mets were losing 12 in a row, they could say, well, Juan Soto's out. Well, there's nobody out for the Red Sox.
No, and there's just not a lot of power in this lineup. They're trying to do it with pitching and defense. And to me, that has not been the formula that's really worked in Boston.
Right.
I mean, you think about the days of Manny and Ortiz. There was a ton of power there. Johnny Damon hitting 25 home runs. Mikey Lowell hitting 30 home runs. I think this is a park you have to score a lot of runs in because of the quirks. And They have a lot of speed. They do have speed, but because they don't walk, they don't hit home runs, it's been hard to score runs. And if you're not walking and getting hits, it's hard to steal first base.
And all the projection models have the top home run hitter having 18 home runs for the Red Sox this year. Runner goes, foul ball. That's playing 81 games at Fenway Park.
Yeah. But they're powerful guys, and I would say Duran's got some power. Roman Anthony's got some power. Abreu's got some power. They're left-handed, and that doesn't play great in this ballpark.
One, two, fouled away.
And Yoshida, who's you could argue has been their best hitter this year, him or Contreras, doesn't get on the field every day because of his defense. And they can't play everybody, so he doesn't have enough at bats probably.
And perhaps their biggest concern is Garrett Crochet. Last two starts has really been hit hard after, being a Cy Young level pitcher last year, but reaching innings he'd never reached before. So is he paying for those innings now? That's the big concern.
If I was Cam, I'd get the signal right away and get on the mound and hold, make him hold, make the hitters or the base runner's legs get heavy because you're in that squad. And if you look at Duran, he gets pretty far down at first base. That will wear on you.
Yoshida spoiling some pitches. Schlittler at 48 pitches here with 2 outs in the third.
Which is a little bit more than his average. His average is about 15 pitches per inning, a little bit less.
Ground ball to first. Rice steps on the bag, and that will do it. No runs to hit. 1 man left. Let's go to the fourth. Well, it's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. And tonight's picture is a floor. Our Bronx girl who loves the Yankees and especially loved being at the Yankees' wild win over the Angels last week. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. Back to the top of the order. Totali's been perfect through 3. It'll be Rosario, Judge, and Rice. First pitch ball, and the 1-0. 2-0. He started the game 3-0 on Rosario, came back to strike him out. So he has 6 strikeouts in 3 innings.
Again, another Yankee hitter under his fastball. It's so hard when they have that, what you call ride, the perception where you think it's going to be and where it ends up.
Yankees first base hit. A line single to right center, and Rosario leads off with a single here in the fourth.
Second time through, Michael. It's gotten a little darker. I think it's probably a little easier for the hitters to see. Starting to understand what his fastball does. He gets on top of that and just smokes it to right field. A line drive just by Meyer. Oh, almost got it.
So here's Judge. Always interested seeing how a guy pitches for the first time with a runner on base.
Yeah, a lot of times it takes them a little bit of time to find their release point.
Yeah. 2-0 on Judge. On the Yankee right fielder and captain. a strike, 3-1.
That's something you don't see him do a lot of. Swing 3-0. With the power that he has, you would never question him if he did it.
And there's ball 4. So a single and a walk, and the Yankees have something going here in the 4th. First and second, nobody out for Rice. Now Rice, in his last 6 plate appearances, has struck out. And there was a hit by pitch thrown in the middle of those.
Which breaks it up a little bit. 4 strikeouts the first night, struck out last night.
And struck out in the first inning.
I like your comp there, Michael. Preston Claiborne, the Yankees bullpen coach. Kind of looks like him. Peyton Tolley does.
That was not my comp.
Oh, I thought you said he looked like Preston Claiborne.
You know who I think he looks like? Nick Offerman of Parks and Recreation.
I have no idea what that is.
We'll let you look that up.
There we go. It's Preston.
Line drive, left field, it is a base hit. Rosario had to hold up, so he just advances to third. The bases are loaded, nobody out for the Yanks.
Yeah, big hit for Ben Rice. He's kind of setting this inning up for a big inning. He gets on top of this fastball and just lines it to left field. And that's not easy to do because left-handers like the ball down, but he gets on top of it, hits this line drive in front of Duran. Rosario can't get a big jump because he's not sure if he's going to catch it, and the left fielder's so close he's not going to score anyway. So you got to make sure.
Here's Stanton. Did he go? No, he did not, said Clinton Vondrak.
You have to really concentrate when you say that name.
Yeah, it sounds like he should be on Days of Our Lives. The 1-0. 1-1.
So you can see that his off speed doesn't really have a ton of movement. Like that curveball didn't have a ton of depth, but it's 12 or 14 miles an hour below his fastball, and he doesn't throw very many. So when he does, it shocks you.
Just clipped the outside corner. 1-2.
Perfect pitch. You can see the catcher sitting down the middle. This day and age, they just want him to let it, just throw it. Aim up and throw it. We're not worried about the corners as much. We're worried about the up and down. And when he gets the ball down, Michael, that's when he usually gets hit. I mean, he gave up 5 home runs in 16 1/3 innings last year. That's a lot of home runs.
Red Sox back for the double play. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout of Stanton. 7th strikeout for Tolley. 1 away with the bases loaded.
Yeah, you're going to see this is a good changeup. It's the first one he's thrown tonight. You see the late movement. You see he kind of takes the spin off it. It almost has like a knuckleball spin. It cuts a lot of times a little bit, but it has that little dip in the end, and it gets Giancarlo.
There's Randall Grichuk. 1-0. Grichuk struck out in the 2nd inning. Yankees trail 1-0. An unearned run on a throwing error by Rosario led to the 1 run in the 2nd. Popped up. Right field. Coming on Abreu. He'll make the catch. No one tags. And 2 down.
Yeah, that ball just got in on Grichuk a little bit, and he wasn't able to drive it to the outfield. And Abreu, who's got a couple Gold Gloves, takes control of that ball, and you're not going to run on that arm because he's very accurate and he's got a good arm.
56 pitches for Tolley, and here Trent Grisham grounded to first in the 2nd. Bases loaded, now 2 outs. And a strike. Fouled away, so the count 0-2.
I kind of like Grisham in these type of at-bats. You know, when guys have velocity because his swing is so short. and he lets the ball get so deep. I mean, he lets it get as deep in his stance as almost any hitter in the big leagues, but still has the ability to always pull the ball because of the direction of his bat.
Strike three. What a performance by Tolley. The Yankees have the bases loaded, nobody out, and he gets the next 3 Yankees. And a called third strike on Grisham ends the threat. Well, tomorrow, this week of rivalries continues on Yes as the Yankees and the Astros kick off a 3-game set in Houston. Extended coverage starts at 6 with 2 full hours of pregame leading up to first pitch at 8:10 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Grounded foul as we start the bottom of the 4th. So pick me up inning there for Tolley. Bases loaded, nobody out, and the Yankees don't score a run.
Yeah, I hope my theory doesn't hold true when you have something like that happen when you should score, that the team scores the next half inning.
High fly ball, left field. Make the seats.
I'm going to give you some directions when you go to Houston.
Okay.
Don't let Yordan Alvarez beat the Yankees.
You want me to tell Boone that?
Well, tell somebody.
All right. That's 11 home runs.
Yes. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. You look, average slug, OPS. He does it all on base.
The 0-2. 1-2. The only run in the game. With 2 outs, Trevor Story hits a ground ball of Rosario, and he throws past Rice. And that allows Story to reach, and then he scores on Myers' double off the Green Monster. So it's unearned, but it counts. Doesn't count on Schlittler's ERA, but it counts on the scoreboard as the Red Sox lead 1-0. Schlittler's ERA right now is 1.76 on the year. You know, an interesting story today in The Athletic by Chris Kirchner, that the arc of Schlittler's Major League career kind of changed. A September in the outfield at Yankee Stadium, and he's playing catch or talking with Garrett Cole. As Contreras goes down on strikes, and Cole told him, you know what you should do? You should throw your cutter harder and throw it up in the zone. And in the next game, that Schlittler pitch that became an effective pitch, and it was a big pitch in that wild card game against the Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean, they said he's raised it like 6 to 9 inches, and this is just a great sinker. He hadn't thrown many sinkers so far tonight, but he threw a couple to Contreras where the bottom kind of fell out, and he swung through it. But yeah, I mean, it's been a big pitch for him too. I didn't like his cutter in the beginning of last year. I was worried that it was going to get hit because a lot of times it was like thigh to waist high, and he was trying to backdoor lefties. But it's a real weapon now, and it's great to have someone like Garrett Cole on your team that can teach you so much about pitching, especially when you're young.
And he gives a lot of credit to Preston Claiborne, who was working with him in the lower levels of the minor leagues. The Yankees drafted him in the 7th round out of Northeastern, and when they drafted him, he threw 89 to 90. Now he throws 98, 99, sometimes hits 100. And the high-speed cameras showed him release points and things like that, and they worked with him. And you know what? He's become, really, I don't think this is hyperbole, one of the top pitchers in baseball right now.
Oh, I mean, you look at his ERA over the last, since he's been here, it's like 6th in baseball, and that's how good he has been. He came up in the beginning of July last year, so, you know, there's somewhat of a sample size there. It's not like it's 3 or 4 games.
Right.
And he's done it on the big stage in the playoffs as well. You know what, Michael, when I watch him pitch too, I mean, if you watch the beginning of his windup and how slow it is, and his footwork is slow, it is under control. And that's why he's able to repeat his delivery. He's not falling all over the place. Look how slow the little step is. Gather.
Fly ball left field. Grichuk back. On the track, he makes the play. 2 down.
And here's the other thing I love about him. He doesn't go for strikeouts. He wants some quick outs. And eventually that is really going to serve him well as he continues to build up his innings limit. He's going to be able to go deep in games all the time.
Here's Trevor Story. He scored the only run, as we mentioned. He reached on the E5 and then scored on the Meyer double. Oh, strike. Popped up. Rice says, I'll take it, and he does, and a 1-2-3 inning for Schlittler and the Yankees as the Red Sox go down in order. Time for the Optimum Fiber famously fast replay.
Well, Tolley's looked really good tonight. A strikeout on a slider to Judge. You're going to see a strikeout on a four-seamer up in the zone to Rice. A little changeup to Giancarlo, and then a cutter to Grisham. And that was a big one. He had the bases low, nobody out, and he ended up getting out of the inning without giving up a run and striking out Grisham to end the inning.
Chisholm with a drive down the right field line. Will it get out? Will it get out? It got out. That's his first home run of the year, and it ties the score at 1. He hooks it around the pesky pole.
Michael, I told you I'd only seen one in my whole career here. Now I've seen 2. Man, that could be a weight off of Jazz Chisholm's shoulder. He hadn't hit a home run, and now he's got one. It's his 3rd hit in the series. He's probably saying, it's about time. Does that feel good? Ties up the score. Kept it fair. Jazz has always been able to hit a good fastball. Fastballs have never bothered him.
He needed that home run. And you got to be chapped if you're a pitcher, giving up that sort of home run.
And I don't know why you didn't bring out the stat earlier that he hadn't hit one in 91 at bats or something. It may have hit it like 2 weeks ago.
So I get credit for that.
Yes.
So there are only 2 left on that list.
Yes.
Bobby Witt Jr. and Fernando Tatis Jr.
It's tough to be a junior.
Yeah.
Jazz Chisholm Jr.
That's right. All juniors. In terms of distance, as Caballero down on strikes, what you were seeing here, Joe, is the shortest home run of Jazz Chisholm's career.
Yeah, look, he's saying, is it going to stay fair? Is it going to stay fair? Is it going to stay fair? It does. I'm saying it's at least 310. What do we got on it, Michael, you think?
Well, they've got the number, I'm sure.
They got 333.
He's never hit a home run shorter than that.
Yankee Stadium?
Yeah. 23 games without a home run, longest of his career to begin a season, and snapped around the pesky pole. So the count 0-2 on Austin Wells. Still 0-2.
Yeah, look at his teammates. Look at, they know it means a lot to Jazz. It means a lot to this club because he was so effective last year. Boston was a team he had a lot of success against last year. 4 homers, 13 RBIs, hit over 300. Like I said, that's his third hit here. Maybe this will get him going.
High fly ball left center. Jarren Duran makes the play. 2 down.
I'm sure that Alex Cora is going to have to mix and match a lot in this game. I'm curious how long he lets Tolley go, because again, his high water mark this year is 75. It was like 71, 74, 75. He hasn't pitched in almost 2 weeks. He's at 70 pitches. I don't see anyone stirring down in that bullpen.
0-2. Still 0-2. Rosario's 1 for 2, struck out, and then got the Yankees first base runner first hit with a single right center in the 4th. In that inning, the Yankees loaded the bases, nobody out, couldn't get a run across. It was originally supposed to be Brian Bayo tonight, but they pushed him to Friday and brought up Tolley to get another lefty against the Yankees. Red Sox this year have had 15 starts by left-handers. And the Yankees have faced 5 straight left-handed starting pitchers.
And because of that, I think that's why you see Aaron Boone flip things right away. When he can get his lefties in a bat, he gets them in a bat, because he knew that they weren't going to get a lot of bats in these 5 days. Michael, it looks like somebody might be starting to stir in that Boston bullpen.
Well, they'll finally get a righty tomorrow, Lance McCullers Jr. The Astros have 3 righties set up to pitch against the Yanks. Former Yankee Greg Weisser warming up.
Through 39 pitches in the first 3 innings, he's almost at 40 since then in these 2 innings.
High fly ball, left field. Duran will put it away. But the Yankees have tied the score. And they did it in a Fenway Park sort of way. Not the Green Monster, it's the pesky pole. Little English, it gets in there, not by much, but it counts. It's 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Audi scoreboard, bottom of the 5th, it's 1-1. A pesky pole home run by Jazz Chisholm and an unearned run by the Red Sox. Here's Marcelo Meyer. He drove in the run with a double off the Green Monster. That was in the 2nd inning. Count 0-1. Grounded foul, 0-2. That's where Slitler's from. They love Slitler, but they love the Sox more.
I would say they love the pesky pole too, not just Walpole.
In the hoodie is the father of Cam, that's John, and in the denim jacket is the mom, and that's Christine. John played baseball and football at Stonehill College, and Christine works in special ed for the Sharon, Massachusetts Public School. And by the way, John is also the chief of police in Needham, Mass. You'd think there's discipline in the house if your dad's the chief of police.
Yes. And he's got ways to follow you when you're in high school, and better not get in trouble.
And Michael, I ask asked Cam Schlittler about that, and he said, yes, there was a tremendous amount of discipline. His dad always said he would thank him one day, and he said he finally gets it now that he's been getting older, why that was necessary. And you mentioned he has a way of seeing everything around him. Schlittler said he wasn't worried about that in high school, but his friends were.
Broken bat, slow ground ball to Rice. He bobbles, stays with it, steps on the bag, one down.
Now that's not recognizing the cutter there, Michael. You're thinking it's a four-seam or something out over the plate, and all of a sudden it dives into the left-handed hitter and completely saws him off. You remember, he hit a double high off the wall in left center on the four-seamer. This is what he has left after that at bat.
Here's Caleb Durbin, 0 for his last 9, 0 for 8 in the series. Strike on the inside corner.
So I dug into his numbers a little bit today, Michael. Doesn't have a lot of bat speed, but has the ability to square the ball up a lot. So he gets the most out of the ball when he hits it. His hard hit rate is very low, but that's not squared up. That's just an outstanding breaking ball.
And a nice play by Rosario.
But he was really good at it this year, and he squared up some balls, or he was really good at it last year. He squared up some balls this year, but he's not having much success. Nice play by Rosario. Little bounce back play, not an easy play, come in and get it, but he makes a really accurate throw. He gets on top of it.
Carlos Narvaez. He's lost some playing time because of his struggles at the plate. Now, he tailed off in the second half last year, but he did finish with 15 home runs, and he's a good defender. But he's kind of splitting time with Connor Wong now.
And Connor Wong is hitting again. He didn't hit last year. He had a broken pinky early in his left hand, and then he had surgery on his right hand. He had a bone that was kind of like raised, and they had to take that. So they said he played basically with 2 beat up hands the whole year and tried to hit. And Narvaez took advantage of it.
Narvaez spent 8 seasons in the Yankee farm system. Then they traded him to the Red Sox, and right away the trade was criticized because Narvaez became a big part of the Red Sox, and the Yankees got this pitcher that no one knew, Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, who's now one of the better pitchers in the minor leagues, not just the Yankee system.
Yeah, we know who he is now. Pitched in the WBC. He's got really good stuff. Fastball gets up to 97 or so. Thing about Narvaez, you have to be careful. He has not been a great fastball hitter in his career. He's been a better breaking ball and off-speed hitter. He will shoot the fastball to right center, but he has struggled with the fastball his first 2 years in the big leagues.
That one's driven deep to left field. Going back, Grichuk looking up, see it. Over the monster, into the seats. It's 2-1 Red Sox.
Well, Michael, he didn't struggle with that fastball, and I don't think that he's had the life on his fastball that we have seen, during this first part of this year and last year. And this is a ball that guys usually swing and miss. He got on top of it and hit it out of the ballpark, and fastballs have given him trouble.
That's his first home run of the year. So here's Jarren Duran. 0-1.
See this fastball? It looks like a four-seamer. He doesn't get it as high as he wants. Gets it middle in. Narvaez takes advantage of that. Hits his first homer.
Ground ball right there, Caballero. And he gets the speedy Duran for the final out. But the Narvaez home run gives the Red Sox a 2-1 lead.
Hey everybody, Bob Lorenz with your Audi update. Garrett Cole making a rehab start for the High A Hudson Valley Renegades facing the Brooklyn Cyclones. 4 strikeouts through 4 innings, just a solo home run allowed on 4 hits. He hasn't walked anybody. He's thrown 45 pitches, 35 strikes. So for Cole, the command there as well as he comes back, guys.
Thank you, Bob. Around the majors, the Phillies released Taijuan Walker. Milwaukee Brewers facing both reigning Cy Young Award winners in back-to-back games, Skubal and Skeens. Joe warned about Yordan Alvarez, who the Yankees will see, 347 with 11 home runs.
So are you worse off if you're the Milwaukee Brewers or the kids facing the Yankees in A-ball where it's Cole and Rondon the next 2 days?
Might be those kids.
Yeah.
Although it might be good for them, too. Know what's ahead of them.
You can watch them a lot more and know what the guy's got. A lot more film on him.
Let's check out one of tonight's player props brought to you by Bet365, where winning is everything. Judge hitting 1 or more home runs is plus 525. He called a timeout to think about it.
That's his gather. Pick up that dirt, throw it, call timeout.
Judge a strikeout and a walk. 2-2. Rice on deck. Three and 2. Swing and a miss, tied him up with a cutter. 1 away.
Yeah, that was an outstanding cutter. It was a strike right until the end. It's strike, 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 ball. And he got Judge to swing at it. Just a really well located cutter.
There's Ben Rice, single to left center in the 4th. 1 for 2. Two and 0. Hit sharply and grabbed there by Meyer. Nice play. Took the base hit away from Rice.
Yeah, has always been a plus defender when it came to reigns and outs above average. And this is just a nice play that he makes here. Knows that he has time, understands the base runner, gets up, makes a strong throw, an accurate throw. I mean, so much of it is knowing who the base runner is and understanding what the time clock is, so there's no panic.
And Stan fouls it off. And the pitch. 2-1. Stan has struck out twice against Peyton Tolley. We're in the 6th inning and the Red Sox lead 2-1.
Yeah, he got him with a fastball up, and then he got him with a good changeup down.
Two and 2.
You know, he really pitches well to the north-south, Michael. Up with his fastball and down with everything else. It's a lot to cover for a hitter.
3-2. total. In fact, a strong 6 innings. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Yankees trail this one 2-1.
Welcome back. It's time for the injury report, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. We already heard about Garrett Cole tonight. Carlos Rodon is set to make his first rehab start for the Renegades tomorrow. Also noteworthy, Anthony Volpe has played in 6 rehab games. He is off tonight. He'll play a full 9 in the field tomorrow and Saturday. On Sunday, he will DH, and then the Yankees will regroup and talk about what the next step will be for Volpe. And Michael, also noteworthy when it comes to Garrett Cole, he is pitching in the 5th inning, so his outing continues. He's given up another run, 2 runs on the board for the opposing team right now with Cole on the mound.
That one is popped up. Rice is there and retires Rafaela. Back here at Fenway Park, on with Joe Girardi and Meredith Marakovitz. I'm Michael Kay. Thank you for spending part of your Thursday evening with us. Peyton Tolle has been dealing, called up today to face the Yankees. He's held them to 1 run on 3 hits over 6. He's got the smile of a guy who knows he's thrown his last pitch of the game.
Yeah. 6 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty big smile.
High fly ball. Grisham puts it away. 2 down here in the 6th.
You know what I read about him too, Michael? That the Red Sox wanted to put a little strength and athleticism in his game, and he went from 91 to 96 to 95 to 101. I mean, that's adding, and you wonder how a guy like this is not a first-round pick. Well, that's what understanding how to work with pitchers and increase velocity does. And all of a sudden, someone like Cam or him that's not a first-round pick, you see they should have been.
Fly ball, shallow center field, and that's caught by Grisham as the Red Sox go down in order against Schlittler, and we'll go to the 7th. The Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. By Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center and by Mohegan Sun. Beyond your wildest. How did the Red Sox trade Babe Ruth to the Yankees? Oh, how history would have changed. New pitcher for the Red Sox is Danny Coulombe, and he will face Randall Grichuk. So a lefty following a lefty. Pitch is high.
My scouting on this guy, Michael, he's got a number of different pitches. Everything moves. Even his pickoff to first moves. He can't throw the ball straight.
Since 2022, he has a 2.41 ERA. But strangely, Joe, he remained unsigned until March 13th. And Boston scooped him up on a 1-year, $1 million deal.
That's a great sign. And I'm a little surprised that he remained unsigned. I mean, he had great years with Baltimore. Was a big part of their bullpen there. And you can see a little breaking ball, a little sweeper. He'll cut it. He'll sink it. I mean, I know he struggled in Texas last year, but this guy's put up some pretty good numbers.
The original deal was going to be 1 year, $2.25 million, but the team had issues with his physical. So they reworked it for $1 million, and the rest is in incentives. As Grichuk goes down on strikes against Coulombe. All right, it's time now to name that Yankee, brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. 279 average, 1,463 hits, almost 200 home runs with the Yankees from 50 to 52. The Nationals, it's not the Nationals, the Senators, and then the Red Sox, 54 to 59 and 61. Now, by the way, that was the logo they used those years. The Nationals or the Senators, and now they're the Nationals, but they did use that logo. Line drive, it's a base hit by Grisham to left field.
Michael, do you have an idea? I have no idea. I'm not even going to try. Look at Grisham stay on this little breaking ball away. Hit it the other way. Only the third hit that lefties have gotten this year off of Coulomb.
Now he faces another lefty, Jazz Chisholm, who wrapped one around the pesky pole in the 5th inning. And a strike. Landed right about there. Shows bunt, takes inside.
I think if Jazz is going to bunt, he doesn't want to push it towards the third baseman. He wants to take it with him. If you can take it towards second base with the left-hander falling off the mound towards third base, you'll have a base hit.
There's a base hit to center field. Moving to second is Grisham. So first and second and one man out.
Yeah, it's just a little sinker inside. He had thrown him some breaking balls, and Jazz 2 hits the first day, 2 hits the third day here. It's been a good road trip so far for Jazz. Maybe the worm's turning a little bit. First home run of the year.
So with Caballero due up, be a trip to the mound to talk to Coulomb.
It's time to go yard. Echo, power on and on.
Weissert was up earlier, continues to throw. There's a lefty on deck, that's Austin Wells, but they do have to deal with the righty Caballero.
They also know that they have, if they bring him in and they get to Rosario, you have Bellinger to hit in that spot. Yankees have some lefties on their bench. Weissert has been really, really good, though. The last 4 2/3 innings, only 1 hit, 6 strikeouts.
Time run at second base for the Yanks. Caballero 0-1.
Imagine the difference of what you just faced. Facing a guy that's throwing 98 all the time up in the zone, and now you're facing a guy that's 90 that's down in the zone all the time. The difference is that hitters have to adjust to, and it's not like you have a lot of time to adjust. You got to do it right now.
Bounced it up there. Now, a couple of things you could do with Wells. If they have the lefty in there, you know if you're Boone and you send up Goldschmidt, then they'll bring in Weissert.
Yes.
But then you know that with Rosario due up, then you could send up Bellinger.
Yes, and then you'd end up putting McMahon. So
right.
For that one at bat, you're going to use a lot of players, but it's getting late. And the Yankees have done a good job of going for it late in games.
And a bunt. Foul ball. He's trying to push that toward first base for a base hit, not for a sacrifice, obviously. Not with 1 out.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is you get a sacrifice if you get him over, which I've never understood. I mean, this is strictly, I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. I think he was trying to push it. I think you're right, Michael, but his bat angle was right back to the pitcher, so it's actually really good that he fouled it off.
So 1-2 on Caballero. Grisham leads off second, Chisholm off first. We're in the 7th. Lined into center field. That's going to dunk in for a base hit. Runners had a hold up. They didn't know if it would fall. It did. So 3 straight singles for the Yankees to load the bases.
And I think I would leave Wells in here possibly, Michael, because he's not overpowering. And I feel pretty good about him putting the ball in play here.
Red Sox are back. They're looking for the double play. Austin Wells had 11 sac flies last year, which led the American League. He has 1 this year. One and 0.
And he's been patient this year. His walk rate is way up. He has chased a lot less. This is when you need him to lock in. He was pretty good in these situations last year.
Thinking safety squeeze, he pulled the bat back. 2-0. Aaron Boone said last week, an executed safety squeeze is impossible to defend.
Yes. Yes and no.
Oh, no.
I told you, you give a sign to the first baseman that you're not throwing over. They like to safety squeeze with first and third a lot of times, especially with the left-hander. He can leave early. If you put the ball down, it's like you see a lot of first basemen on sacrifices. They're so far in, so you can cheat. And you can get most runners.
How about if you bunt toward third?
That's dangerous because the third baseman's usually in, is almost even with the base runner.
Line drive, foul. So the count is full from 3-0 to 3-2. Big pitch coming up. Rosario's on deck. The veteran Coulomb deals. Got him. Off-speed breaking ball, and Wells down on strikes.
Yeah, he had thrown him a couple sinkers. He had thrown him one away, and then he threw him one in and really sped him up, and then he gets him with this little breaking ball.
Well, with Rosario due up, they're going to call on Weiser, and then obviously the Yankees will counter with a left-hander. It's going to be Bellinger. Stay tuned. Bases loaded. Well, come celebrate Star Wars Day at Yankee Stadium on Saturday, May 2nd. There'll be appearances by your favorite Star Wars characters, and the first 18,000 guests in attendance receive a Max Fried Mandalorian bobblehead. Tickets are going fast, so get your tickets today at Yankees.com, and may the force be with you. Weiser comes on, the right-hander, and instead of Rosario, Boone will go to Bellinger to pinch hit. You see the numbers on Weiser, but more recently, very good.
The first 5 appearances, he gave up 3 home runs and had a 9.64 ERA. The last 5, no runs, 6 Ks. Came in the other night with the bases loaded, got out of that jam with a bunch of strikeouts. He's got a very good sweeper. His fastball has carry because of his arm angle. You're going to see a really low arm angle here. And for Belly had a 9-game hitting streak snapped last night, but a good time to start another one.
Weiser had allowed 5 runs across his first 5 games, and now 5 straight scoreless outings. And he said he was trying to be a little too cute.
Well, I mean, he's got a great sweeper. You talk about going from one side of the batter's box to the other. There it is.
Made a team high 72 appearances last season, had a 2.82 ERA. .2-0. There's a strike.
Hides the ball really well. If you look at it, he's set up like to throw to the on-deck circle when he comes to a set.
Line drive, it's a base hit to left center field. 1 run scores. Here comes Chisholm. He'll score. It's a big 2-run pinch hit single for Bellinger, and the Yankees take the lead 3-2.
The thing about Belly is he's never trying to do too much, and he really understands how to hit the situations. There's a lot of young hitters now that will go up and try to hit a home run here. Not Belly. You see the head stay down. He gets on top of this sinker that's up in the zone. He hits it over the shortstop's head. Good base running by everyone involved. Jazz gets a great jump, and Caballero does the right thing. Like, at times he'll be aggressive and try to get to third there, but he would have been out easy, and you want Aaron Judge to hit here.
And a strike.
And we're going to watch all the base runners here, and Caballero gets a good jump too, but he understands that Duran's going to hit the cutoff man. He goes to third base. Just stay there.
0-1 on Judge. Judge 0 for 2 with a walk. Now 0-2. So the Red Sox bullpen gives away the great outing by Peyton Tolley. He'll get nothing to show for this other than good job.
And another start.
Yep.
Michael, I got to believe it now at this point. Through 2 fastballs, 1 in the middle, 1 inside. Here comes that sweeper. He's going to start behind him almost.
Line drive, it's a base hit. Right center field. Rounding third. Heading home is Caballero. The ball is bobbled in center field. Going to second is Judge. He gets there. Stopping at third is Bellinger. And the Yankees lead 4-2.
Michael, you've talked about him trying to be too cute the first 5 appearances. Well, I think he got a little cute there, where he probably had him set up for that sweeper that's one of his best pitches, and he throws him another fastball, and he leaves it middle in, and Aaron Judge does a good job of staying inside of it. He's probably looking out over the plate. Abreu kicks this ball. I thought Belly might be able to score, but he gets it in quickly to the second baseman. Judge gets the second. Now he may get a couple more runs, Michael.
Well, Ben Rice is going to be intentionally walked to load the bases, and they'll choose to pitch to Stanton. But first, a meeting on the mound to talk with Weiser.
Some really good at-bats by some veteran hitters, just taking the base hit, looking for the ball up, getting the ball middle in, and being able to push it the other way. Now you'd like to see the big hit right here, Michael.
Stanton, bases loaded, 2 outs. Yankees 3 runs in. They lead 4-2. Weiser deals. A strike. Does not have great numbers against the Red Sox right-hander. 0 for 6 with 2 strikeouts. Fastball misses outside, 1-1. One and 2.
And that was the pitch that I thought he might throw to Aaron Judge, and I would have expected him to even expand a little more. For a right-hander, that has to be so hard to pick up.
Just off the end of the bat, foul back. Yankees have a 5-game winning streak. That's the longest of the year, trying to make it 6 before they head to Houston. Swing and a miss. Stanton strikes out for the 4th time tonight. But the Yankees take the lead. Coming off the bench, Cody Bellinger. And he gets the biggest hit of the night. Driving in 2 to give the Yankees the lead. Want a little bit of a pad? Well, then you go to the captain. He takes a fastball, goes the other way. 1 more run scores. Yankees up by 2.
Time for your Ford Studio Update. Bob and Jack with you. You know the old saying, patience is a virtue. That applied to the Yankees offense tonight.
And it applied to Bellinger in that inning, Bob, working the count in his favor, finally getting a 4-seamer up in the zone that he's able to deliver to put the Yankees ahead with that hit. He hit almost 350 with runners in scoring position last year, but that was only his 5th career pinch hit in 31 at-bats.
Still a lot of baseball left to play at Fenway. Michael and Joe will take us home, and we'll see you on the postgame with Meredith, guys.
Thank you, guys. 4-8-1 for the Yankees, 2-3-1 for the Red Sox. Schlittler, 6 innings of 3-hit, 2-run ball. He's still in the game. Bellinger, that big 2-run pinch hit single. Peyton Tolley pitched great. 11 strikeouts in 6 innings. And Carlos Narvaez with a solo home run that gave the Red Sox a 2-1 lead at the time. Schlittler still dealing. And Abreu fouls it off as we start the bottom of the 7th.
That was the old Tom Kelly theory right there, the longtime manager for Minnesota. If you scored runs, as your team, you start the next hitter off with a breaking ball when you go back out, because they're looking to, like, you're going to throw a fastball and they're looking to jump you.
He jumped that slider and lined it into center field. A base hit for Abreu to start off the 7th.
Sometimes you worry about pitchers when they sit a long time too, Michael. He was on the bench a long time. That was a Long top of the 7th. You're going to look at this little cutter that just really is kind of a spinner. He's trying to throw it up, but he didn't get it high enough. Probably didn't get it in enough as well.
Fernando Cruz heating up. That'll bring up Story. Story's a tying run at the plate. 2 home runs, 17 ribbies. This could be 2. There's 1, and there's 2.
Yeah, tailor-made double play ball, a high hopper to the shortstop going towards the bag. He can just step on it. You don't have to feed the second baseman to turn it, and you turn it yourself. Just an outstanding double play. And that's big for Cam. That's his high water mark in innings so far this year, 6 2/3.
Trying to make it 7 before he turns it over to the bullpen. Here's Marcelo Meyer, RBI double in the 2nd, grounded to 1st. That was in the 5th. Hit sharply right at Jazz Chisholm. And the Yankees put a 0 for the Red Sox. Cam Schlittler's family likes it. Dad's clapping. No punishment tonight. Well, fans, Yankee games on Yes are streaming live on the Gotham Sports app, included for free with your eligible TV provider subscription. Download and sign into the Gotham Sports app now and check out all the great Yankees content, including game highlights, post-game player interviews, and much more. Another lefty for the Red Sox, Tyler Samaniego. Yankees saw him in the 1st game. First pitch is grounded up the middle by Ryan McMahon, and a base hit. So McMahon connects for the single against the lefty.
Well, last night he came in and played great defense. So far, he's come in tonight and got a hit. It's good to see him kind of get it going. That home run, I think, to left field the other day really kind of let him breathe a little bit as well, because it was such a big hit.
Here's Trent Grisham. He started that big 7th inning with a 1-out single to left field against the left-hander Cologne. Samaniego deals strike. 1-1. McMahon held it first by Contreras.
Yeah, he came in and threw the ball really good the other night. The first night, Michael, 1 2/3, 3 strikeouts, only gave up a hit. Boy, they loaded up with lefties against the Yankees, didn't they?
And it has not worked out that far.
3 starters, 15 guys in the bullpen are left-handed, I think.
Looks like he'll be coming out to pitch the 8th after that very economical 7.
Is it, I think, 86 pitches?
The 2-2. Strike 3. Grisham down looking. That'll bring up Jazz Chisholm, who's 2 for 3, including a home run in the 5th. We take a look at the exit velocity presented by Spectrum. Just 98 miles per hour. Around the pesky pole, 333 feet, the shortest home run distance-wise of his career. But it counted.
It's amazing how one hit in a season can turn seasons around. The importance of confidence, believing in what you're doing.
Grounded to 2nd. There's 1. On to 1st. Not in time. Not a great throw to 2nd, and got kind of hung Story out to dry.
Yeah, he had to make like a spin around to make the throw. Meyer threw it all the way on his left-hand side. I mean, they got plenty of time. This ball's hit really hard. He throws it up. It's actually a good play by Story. Not able to get the speedy Jazz Chisholm.
I wonder if the Yankees look at this if his foot was off the bag at second.
Doesn't look like it. Caballero's in the box.
Neither side challenges.
Jazz will be trying to run here possibly.
Snap throw to first. Chisholm back.
Yeah, and here's the transfer.
Called the strike. Batter's challenging.
I don't know.
Did he step on it when he came back?
Caballero is challenging the strike.
New York has no challenges remaining.
Caballero's challenged more than any Yankee batter.
Yeah, and that's one that, like, okay, it's an 0-0 count. There's 2 outs. You may want that challenge saved for the 9th inning. I just think, here we go again, looking down.
That's who's due up in the bottom of the 8th inning. 8, 9, and 1. Tim Hill heating up.
And I would think that you would allow him to go through Narvaez if he's going back out. Have some righties on the bench if you bring in Tim Hill. Not sure that really matters a lot because it's going to be a ground ball no matter what, almost.
Couldn't hold up. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees up by 2 on the top of the 8th inning. Runner on first base. You know what they say about Caballero? If he's an opponent, you hate him.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
If he's your teammate, you love him.
Absolutely.
Because the Yankees had problems with him when he was with Tampa Bay. Now they're delighted by him. Runner goes, and that's a base hit inside first. It kicks off the sidewall. Jazz Chisholm's going to third. Caballero's going to second. The throw goes off the glove of Story. So it's going to be a double for Caballero as Chisholm stops at third.
Yeah, Jazz didn't know where the ball was because it was hit behind him, and that's where you have to peek in and look for your third base coach because you're never going to find that. That's the one time you need the third base coach. See, he peeks in late and is not sure where the ball is hit. He doesn't know if the first baseman has it. Had he kept running, I don't know, maybe he has a chance to score. But Abreu probably doesn't go to second base in that instance. Those are 2 big runs, Michael.
Bases loaded, 1 out in the Yankees' big 7th inning, and Austin Wells struck out. But another chance for him right now, second and third with 2 outs to give the Yankees more of a lead. Caballero's double, the 10th hit for the Yankees. Oh, 2.
So many of these lefties with Boston have the ability to run it into left-handers, and that's not something that used to be done a lot when I was playing, Michael, but left-handers have started to do that, have started to throw more changeups left on left.
The 0-2. Missed outside. Two and two. And the pitch. Chopped slowly to second. Meyer flips to Contreras, and the Yankees will strand two as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 4-2 Yanks. Well, we go to the 8th inning. Schlittler's still in there. What do you see so far?
Yeah, 85 pitches, only 10 the last 2 innings, but the good cutter to Contreras, and here's the good slider to Narvaez, and here's a really good sinker to Contreras. I don't think he's had his electric stuff. His family loves it tonight. But remember what I said about Smoltz? Said 10 starts, you have great stuff. 10, you have average, and the 10 that you don't have your great stuff. It's what you do that makes your year. I think for him, he's had to battle, and he's found a way.
Well, he'll face Caleb Durbin, the 8th hitter in the Red Sox order, who's 0 for 2 against him. So coming into this inning, 85 pitches. In the 6th, he threw 6. In the 7th, he threw 4. The Red Sox at times this year have been overly aggressive.
I would agree. And I think it's probably trying to do too much, an offense that's struggling.
Another shattered bat. Charging Caballero. One away. Breaking bats, huh?
Oh, yeah. And sometimes, Michael, when you're in these ruts and you're not hitting, you wonder if it's ever going to end. That's good firewood there.
Take a look at the bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Only guy used last night, Brent Hedrick, because Fried gave them 8, and Hedrick threw 26 pitches, allowed 1 run. So it's a well-rested bullpen. Here's Carlos Narvaez, home run in the 5th off of Schlittler.
So also well rested. They had Monday off, and the last 5 starts before today, their starters are averaging about 7 innings. They've been going deep into games. You got another one going 8 here, possibly.
Pretty amazing. This is only Schlittler's 20th career regular season game. Just 20 games.
Yeah, he's been really, really good for 20 games. You know, we haven't seen the 98s, the 99s tonight. You wonder sometimes if the weather has a little something to do with it. It's a little bit cooler.
And the count 2-2.
Yeah, good breaking ball here. You see him swing through it. Actually down the middle, he foul tips it.
Swing and a miss. Narvaez down on strikes. 2 away.
Yeah, this is the high cutter that he has been throwing that's been giving hitters a fit. And he really loves it against the left-handers, and it looks so good up there because it's so close to your eyes. But it's not good for you, Michael.
Here's Jarren Duran. And a strike. There's 97.
Yeah, that might be the hardest fastball he's thrown all night.
He threw 8 innings in that wild card game we spoke about. 12 strikeouts, no walks. This is not the same game, but Yankees are winning. One and one. Duran's 1 for 3. Red Sox have 4 hits and 2 runs. Yankees have 4 runs and 10 hits. Good curve.
Yeah, below the zone, and that's a place that Jarren Duran has often chased. He likes the ball down, but you're going to see him chase this ball, and if you could throw it again, I think he might swing through it again.
So Cam Schlittler on his field of dreams. He was a child, came here, rooted for the Red Sox, gets the start for the Yankees on that mound. And he rocks and deals. Swing and a miss. A strong finish and a strong 8 innings for Cam Schlittler. The kid comes home and dominates his boyhood team. Jaron Duran goes down on strikes to end the 8th. You think his family likes it? Hey, why wouldn't they? Well, fans, after the final out, get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and we'll hear from the manager, plus a look ahead to the series with the Astros. All coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame. So Bellinger came off the bench with the big pinch hit. The drive in 2 gave the Yankees a 3-2 lead. Then Judge followed with another RBI, made it 4-2. That's where we are.
We've had some different heroes every night. Looks like that's it for Cam, getting a hug from Fried.
2 straight 8-inning starts. Managers love that.
Yeah, especially when you're playing 9 days in a row. They had just played 13 days in a row, got an off day, and now 9. Some different heroes each night. Think about Stanton the first night, Rosario the next night, Rosario and Fried. Now you got Cam, and I guess you could call Bellinger that big hit he had.
Served into left field on the run, Duran, and he dives to make the play. What a great play by Jaron Duran. He took an extra base hit away from Bellinger.
Well, he's got great speed and closing speed, and he plays left field really well here. He's had a pretty good series. You're going to see him lay out and make this catch. If it gets by him, it's a for sure double, and you never know what else it might turn into. Slides on the grass, doesn't have to hit that hard red clay. Really a good catch by Jaron Duran.
And that is not what David Cohn calls eyewash. He had a dive and he made the play. Red Sox go to the bullpen to face Judge. It's time to name that Yankee. Casey Stengel said this is the biggest mistake he ever made as Yankee manager. Let's see who it is. Jackie Jensen. I had no chance. No chance. Ryan Watson comes on to face Aaron Judge. 1 out in the 9th. Yankees lead 4-2.
Yeah, 9 runs in his last 5 1/3 innings. His last outing against Detroit in that game, Boston won 8-6. He went 1 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs. He's been struggling lately, not overpowering. Spins it a lot.
Popped up. Contreras watches it make the seats. Let's see some highlights of Jackie Jensen.
One of the most sought after young outfielders in the league.
He came up when Mantle came up. Turned into a pretty good ball player.
So you said he was a 2-sport star?
That's what our producer said, yeah. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Wow.
One, 2. How about this making Boone happy? You ready?
Okay.
Yankees have 7 starts of 7 or more innings this season, most of the majors. Yankees have 4 starts of 8 or more innings this season, most of the majors. That'll get it done.
Well, we talked about leaving spring training. The strength of this club was probably the power and the starting pitching, and they've delivered with 2 really good pitchers on the IL.
And another pretty good pitcher due in August, Clark Schmidt.
Yes. I mean, This staff is only going to get better.
Strike 3. Judge down looking, strikes out for the 3rd time. Only person to play in the Rose Bowl, the World Series, and the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Traded by the Yankees to Washington in 1952. The American League MVP with the Red Sox in 58. First Red Sox outfielder to win the Gold Glove. He did that in 1959. And he retired from Major League Baseball due to fear of flying at the age of 32.
I get that.
I've sat next to you on planes, especially when you were a player.
Yeah, it wasn't always so comfortable.
No. One and one on Rice. Rice 1 for 3, intentionally walked last time up. David Bednar getting ready. Two and 1. They'll face 2, 3, and 4 in the Red Sox order in the bottom of the 9th. Right now protecting a 2-run lead, 4-2. Well, fans go to Yes Network on X and vote for the Montefiore Einstein Player of the Week. This is not an easy one. Number 1, Max Fried. Number 2, Ahmed Rosario. And number 3, that guy, Giancarlo Stanton.
Ooh, that is tough. Who do you have as the leader in the clubhouse?
Max Fried was pretty good yesterday. But Ahmed Rosario drove in all 4 runs. I'm going to pass. I'm not going to vote this year. How about you?
Right now, I'd have to give it to Max Fried. But let the week finish out.
Everybody
that's
thought that was
two-way.
strike 3. And now a late challenge.
Wow.
Pitcher's called the ball. The pitcher is challenging.
Oh, maybe we didn't see. We're so used to look at the catcher. Yeah.
The pitcher was right. It seems like Rice has been victimized by this more than anybody. But Watson got the challenge right. Now will Bednar get the bottom of the 9th right? This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Well, David Bednar will go for a 7 save. He's 6 of 7. 13 strikeouts in 9 2/3 innings. He's walked 5 with a 3.72 ERA. And he'll face Rafaela, Yoshida, and Contreras as the Red Sox try to come back here in the bottom of the 9th. Yankees looking for the sweep before they move to Houston. And after the game the Red Sox head to Baltimore, they'll start a 3-game set against the Orioles. And a strike starts him off with a curveball.
I almost feel like he's a starter closing games. Flipping that curveball up for a free strike all the time.
Then a splitter, 0-2. Red Sox are 6 games behind the Yankees right now. If the Yankees hold on, the Red Sox will have dug themselves a 7-game hole in the American League East as they sit in last place.
And I think it's much more than that, Michael. I think it's, you know, like I said yesterday, it's perspective. You still have so many games to go, and it's picking up a game a month, a little bit more than a game a month. But it's just playing better, offensively playing better.
Ground ball, McMahon. 1 away.
so many guys in their lineup that are struggling right now, and Sedon had an 18-game on-base streak and has not been on base the last 2 days. He was one of the bright spots, and he's been struggling. Yoshida has been really good, but has not played a lot because he doesn't play defense. They've had to share the at-bats in the DH spot.
And starts him off with a curveball strike. Popped up. Ben Rice for out number 2. And boos here at Fenway Park. And that'll bring up Contreras.
He was actually swinging the bat great before the Yankees got to town. He's won for his last 10 against the Yankees. He was another bright spot on this club offensively.
0 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts. Red Sox shut out on Tuesday. 1 run last night. 2 runs tonight. Big hit by that guy off the bench, a 2-run single, followed by an RBI single by the captain as the Yankees put up a 3-spot in the 7th. Cam Schlittler, 8 strong innings, 1 earned run over 8 innings. He's got that curveball working, 2-1.
Think about that, Michael. Like I said, he's like a starter. 2-0, nobody on. You're up 2 runs. The last thing you want is Contreras to get on base through a walk. He has the confidence to flip that curveball in for a strike.
And you saw that shot of Jazz. You know, he wrapped one around the pesky pole, his first home run of the year. That tied the game at 1. That's the Yankees scoring. Chisholm home run, pinch hit 2-run single by Bellinger, and an RBI single by Judge. Can they hold on? They're an out away. Ground ball, McMahon. The throw to first, in the dirt, backhanded scoop by Rice, and the Yankees win 4-2 to take their 6th in a row, and they sweep the Red Sox in Boston.
And again, only 1 earned run tonight, Michael. The starters have been dealing the last 6 games, an ERA of under 1 the last 6 games. Cam was really good tonight, and he had to battle. It wasn't easy for him, but a big sweep for the Yankees to start off this long road trip.
Next up, Houston to play the Astros, and the Yankees record goes to 16-9. Cam Schlittler comes home and beats the team of his childhood, and he's getting to be a little bit of an irritant to them. He knocked them out of the playoffs last year, and then he completes the sweep tonight as his ERA is under 2, and he picks up another victory in his 20th career start. All smiles for the Yankees as they head into the clubhouse and then on to Houston. 4-2, Yankees win.